have another problem. Episode 15! Well, you guys seen the new Kenworth? Well, new to me Kenworth. That old girl, she's probably older than most of you watching this video. She's older than me, and it's older than this truck. But boy, is she a good runner. I'm excited to see how it performs. This video, we're gonna do some talking points, I think. Mine is cold as fuck out. So we're gonna probably just try to film from inside the cab today, so you get to listen to me yap while we drive down the road, if that works for y'all. So, and we'll put some driving clips in, see how things go, you know. But we're listen to that. Actually, here, boys and girls. Never gets old. Never, ever, ever gets old. That's awesome. I love the sound of that damn thing. Yeah, the reason why I say probably gonna do some talking points and stay in the cab today, like I said, it's cold. And actually, thanks to you guys, I have somewhat of an analytics now on YouTube. And just by looking at everything, seems like I might need to introduce a little more what we're going to talk about or what we're going to do in my episodes, because it seems like y'all are dropping off in the first minute. So don't click away from this video yet. Thank you. Float some gears. Ooh. Oh. So girl hasn't moved in a couple of months. Sounds good. Oh yeah. Just like walking the dog. Just like walking the dog. Oh yeah. Let's go, baby. I guess one thing we can talk about, y'all might be wondering what that Kenworth is going to be doing. Well, it's got a PTO kit set up on it, or a PTO set up for what they call a walking floor. And essentially what a walking floor is it's a trailer that hauls wood chips. I'm not sure what else they haul in them. Maybe we'll find out when it starts working. But yeah, from what I know, it's got hydraulics set up on it, and there's a floor in the bottom that basically, lack of a better term, works like a conveyor belt, and you can push it forwards, you can push it backwards. So once you're hooked up, rigged up, PTO's kicked in, you're at wherever you need to drop off, you got a full load of chips on, back up to where you're supposed to be, and then open your doors on the back, kind of like a van trailer, and then run a switch, and that floor will unload the wood chips. And then when you're empty, shut her down, close your doors, jump back in your truck, touch PTO off, go grab the next one. So I think it's a fairly simple concept. I myself, I'm not going to be on it. I'm not going to be running it, obviously, because I'm in here running semi-vac. And my friend of mine by the name of John Wilbur, he's going to be in there running that Kenworth. So hopefully I can figure out a way to get some footage of that. That'd be pretty sweet to add to the channel. So got a lot of ideas for that truck. It's going to take some time, but Got a lot of ideas. Needs a little more wheelbase. So does this truck. Needs some more chrome goodies on her. It needs to be lit up a little more, just like this truck. So we'll get her right as rain in due time. And like I said, last video there, I'll keep y'all updated on it best I can. So, and that truck will run basically throughout Alberta, which is pretty sweet, or northern Alberta anyways. So, now like I said, 91B model Kenworth, so it's the short hood, but it's a high hood. C model Cat, for any of you guys that are wondering. 18 speed. It's just got the single overdrive in it with 370 gearing, so it should be a good runner. And yeah, we'll see how she goes. Maiden voyage for her is pretty in the next few days, if I'm not mistaken. So, if not by now, this video, I'm working with my editor who puts the final polish on everything for me. I'm working with his schedule right now just because I am away. So, might be a few days by the time this gets out. Might already be at work. I'm not too sure yet. So, and myself, like I said, I don't know if I did say it or not, but long story short, I'm heading up to a Synovus thermal facility north of Bonnyville, Alberta, a place called Foster Creek. We got a vessel to clean up there, and it should take the better part of a month. I'm going to be gone on a stint. I kissed my newborn goodbye this morning, as well as my, basically, essentially my wife, the boss, as you guys may know, Sierra. Goodbye this morning. Gave him a big old fat hug, and packed my shit. Now we're on the road. So should be a good time. Should be a good payday. And yeah. So the next, I believe the next video, I'm thinking it's going to be probably situated more up there, which is fine. You guys can maybe, I'll see if I can't get some insight to you guys on what day-to-day operations are like out there when I'm loaded and on the road and where I go and that kind of thing. So weather's supposed to cooperate during the day, so hopefully we can, I know the camera's weatherproof, blah blah blah, but I just, you know, I spent a lot of money on it. I prefer not to freeze it out and wreck it, and I only have one battery, so I don't want to just, you know, have like 2 minutes of footage here and then charge it and then I'm taking the whole day and da 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 da. I don't know, maybe I'm making excuses. Maybe I got the right idea, I don't know, but hopefully the weather cooperates and I can get some outside truck footage, because I know you guys like that, listening to this old Pete go down the road. So, yeah. But for today, like I said, we're just heading up there, gonna get situated in camp, so we'll just be having a little back and forth in here. So let's ride. Well, we just pulled over in, what the hell is this town called? Blah, 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 da, 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 da. Marwayne. Because as I was driving down the road, I heard a pop. And then what sounds like a bunch of vanes in the turbo spinning in there. So I'm pretty certain this Pete just popped the fucking turbo. Which, whatever. So I guess episode 15, I got something to talk about. Turbos. Woohoo! Oh, man. Well, join me as we see if we can't pull this intake side off the turbo here and see what we can see, if we got splines that are pooched or what the hell is going on. Maybe I can try and limp it back to Lloyd, and we can try this all over again in a few days when I get a turbo, if someone doesn't have one in town. So, be right back. So yeah, the last time I blew this turbo was in Redding, California. And yeah, I waited, got a turbo sent to me, and I put it on in the parking lot myself. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to do that here. I'm hoping that the splines are somewhat decent enough, I can make it back to Lloyd to get a new one. So we'll see. I popped the turbo. Okay, now this is going to be an interesting one to try to get off here. I haven't had this off in years. I think what we'll do, we'll probably have to get it to come off this way if I can. But yeah, I replaced this turbo myself in a parking lot in California. So I just want to see what we all have going on here. Okay, now this one. Come on. Oh yeah, getting my nice freezer jacket all dirty. In my experience, that turbine is still good. So if it's not, what the hell? So I wonder then, I probably got to take this part off. I bet you it's the back side. That would be my guess. We'll be right back. So pulled off the front side, and of course the only frickin' socket that I don't have in my toolkit is the 7/16 deep for this clamp here. So we're doing it by hand, but we I don't know, the front side looks good. It's kind of funny, I'm pretty sure I need to reseal and redo the turbo on my 6-liter, and now I need to redo the turbo on this freaking thing. Turbos around for everyone. You get a turbo, you get a turbo, everybody gets a turbo. The thing that I'm a little afraid about this freaking thing is the idea that this is not a factory turbo. This is, if I remember correctly, it's kind of a Frankenstein turbo. I believe the back side is a Borg Warner and the front side is from TDI, but I can't quite remember. There's no play in that either. I don't know if you can see that in there. That's strange too, like I got no clank. I gotta make some phone calls. We'll be back in a bit. After doing some digging, I found out the problem. And basically, in here, there's a gasket, right? Well, if you look, it's squished here, but it's not there because I am currently missing 2 manifold bolts, which is sweet. So essentially, probably what happened is the manifold bolts fell out, which is kind of shitty, and then it separated, and now the gasket is separated, which is causing my issue. And there is a considerable fucking gap there. Holy shit. And I don't have any studs to make it right, so I'm gonna see, hopefully, if I can't put this all back together, and then get back to the shop, take all of this apart, put the new gasket on, get the turbo on, and hopefully we can still make it to work today. So that's the game plan. Shitty, because I'm gonna have to take all this apart again, but at least I'm gonna have fucking power tools back at the shop. I sure hope that's all that's the problem with that gasket. I'm like 99% sure that's all it is. Okay. And if you guys don't know this, when you're dealing with rusted exhaust systems, the tricky part is not pulling them. Well, they can be tricky to pull off. When you go to put them back on, if you are not using new parts, things don't like to go together. It's rather annoying. By the looks of it, we need to do some work under here at some point too. I can see a few things that I maybe haven't gotten to in the last little while. Like a wash and some paint
a few minor little oil leaks and such. You know, it is what it is, right? Okay, so that's pretty much secure on there. There we go. And another thing, I am praying to Lord Jesus that those bolts or those studs come out without breaking. So we're gonna have to soak them, let them sit, and then hopefully we can attack it from there. So this, oh yeah, bunch of fucking dirt and shit in here. That ain't good. What is it? Oh, how the fuck? There we go, like this. Okay. So without disturbing anything, and hopefully the rubber isn't too fucking cold, which I think it is. So much fun. Be a truck driver, they said. Oh, you know, owner operator, they said. It's so much fun. Oh, get on it. There we go. Okay, going all the way around. Looks like we are. So we'll just kind of tighten this bad boy up. Make sure it's kind of relatively in the same place. So I have also called the local shop in town, and they have a gasket and manifold bolts with nuts as well. So yeah, we'll see if we can't get into town, get this thing in the shop, get it tore apart again, and then is that the right way? I fucking hate when these things, man, I tell you. Just slide in it. Oh, where do you not want to cooperate? On that side. Get in there. There. Just like a fucking glove. Get in there. Okay. All the way around. Yep. Alright, so I think everything's all buttoned up. We'll check in a few minutes when we're on the road. Alright. See how this goes. Provided nothing goes into that little gap, which I don't think it will. It's pretty small. And we're able to make our way down the road here. The biggest things we're gonna have to watch as we go down the road, as we kind of get up to higher speeds, is obviously we're not gonna have to boost. So you're gonna be running on all mechanical power, most of it anyway. Most of it anyways. So we're going to be watching this pyrometer gauge, and that's the gauge that tells you whether or not you're mounting pistons, basically. So, and we'll just have to be listening for any more issues if there is going to be any that arise from having that. You can hear that clang, eh? Whenever you give her Luke, whenever you give her throttle, you hear that clang? You're gonna be a slow fucking ride home. No. Ha Peppa Pig. Yeah, we're gonna lift this bitch back to the shop, see if we can't pull ourselves a turbo off. And then, oh, no. Higher RPM. Here we go. Oh, freaking doing. trucks, man. Fucking trucks. I think what we're gonna do is just because you don't need to see my ugly mug, eat this pepper jet and this long ass drive back to town. I'll catch up with you guys at the shop. What I wanted to talk about before I do that, and we'll get into it more. There's one thing you can take away from episode 15, is I'm going to show you how to take a turbo off, reinstall a gasket, and put the turbo back on. So if you ever blow a turbo, blow the gasket, what have you, if anything, you can refer back to this video. So, let's do it. Check you guys in a bit.
Oh. Alright, y'all, we're back in the shop here and just kind of looking at stuff I want to take apart first. And I think I'm going to start with the shit that ain't that fucking hot. It would be this guy. And I started off with the wrong size wrench. That's always good. So we'll take this boost, this air-to-air clamp off first. Sucks because that was on there really good and I've been having trouble keeping this one on. Sometimes they get stuck all the way around. Come on. There we go. Come on. So we'll just kind of see if we can't slide it. I'm going to try to do this without taking off everything. Now, I don't know how that's going to go. Whoa. That wasn't on there very tight. So, of course, I can't really show you. But they're right there. So, oh, shit. Huh. There's my problem. I have another problem. Well, episode 15. Turning out to be an expensive one. Starting with this. This is obviously the manifold gasket. And this, you can see that. Maybe, kinda, not really, I don't know. That is a broken off extractor in that stud hole. Now, with that being said, I have rarely heard of guys getting those studs out just because after hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, high heat temps and cold temps, they get solidified in there. So, you guys watched me pull the turbo off. Now, I get to show you how to take a manifold off. And put one back on. And put a turbo back on. So, let's get to it. Essentially, we've got these bolts all the way along. There's a couple underneath here. I don't know if you can see that. There's not enough light here. I should probably go grab a flashlight, which I will do in a minute. But, oh, honey. Now, I installed this manifold in my shop. I'd won it in a raffle, or won a gift, whatever, in a raffle. And I can't quite remember if I put anti-seize on these. So we will, I feel like maybe a shallow socket is gonna help. Or better yet, a breaker bar. And looks like we gotta pull more stuff off. Because this, it's pretty annoying actually, this big honking piece of whatever, but let's just see if it'll loosen. Ooh. Well, hello. Nice. Ouch. Well. I'll be going to hell. 1 of 12. And before we get to the other 12, I'll just put that right here. I don't know, I could take the time. Fuck it, I'm gonna take the time. I'm gonna have a quick chat. For any of you that are thinking about getting into trucking, it's not all bad, don't get me wrong, but it can be a harsh career to get into. First of all, shout out to my old company that I used to run for, Evans HD out of Coaldale, Alberta. These guys, I phoned them a little while ago. They now have a manifold bolts, which are these things, spacers, which are these things, manifold gasket, which is this thing that it's actually supposed to be connected in here and connected here. They have these studs, these nuts, the manifold itself with the gaskets to go behind it, coming overnight to Lloydminster within a 10-minute phone call. So shout out to you guys, that was really awesome. Next thing, not knocking it at all, because it's just a part of the job, and trucking is trucking. But like I said, things can change at a moment's notice. I was supposed to go to work today. Obviously we're a little bit delayed after not working for a while. Not a big deal. There was something happening on this motor a while ago that I maybe should have paid more attention to, and I could have caught this. I don't know how a person goes about not seeing manifold bolts that are broke out. I don't know, but I did. So we're here. Price on all of this, basically for me to go to work, got to drop on the, do it at the drop of a hat, just deal with it. About $3,200. Now, maybe if I would have caught that issue, so I think what happened is, or what's originally happened to tell me that this was going to be an issue, was these two studs had broke off on the same side, which now allows the turbo, where it's supposed to be mounted to this flange on the manifold, when these two studs broke out, now that flange has room to move, right? It moves even that much, which then would tilt everything one way or the other, which then would blow this boot off under heavy boost. Like, I think this truck boosts at 50 or 60 pounds. I don't know, because it wraps the needle. But anyways, this has been happening for probably, I don't know, 8 months, and me being the dummy that I am, I never quite paid attention to it. And now I'm paying for it, which is whatever. So for any of you that want to get into trucking, just please make sure to remember that things can get hairy and expensive at a moment's notice, even if you watch and take care of your shit. So yeah, anyways, we'll get to work on I'm gonna go swap out a socket here, and we're gonna get to work on pulling this manifold here. So yeah, not to maybe scare anyone from if they want to get into trucking, but it's definitely something to consider, as you have first-hand evidence of an owner-operator going through it, I should really take this downpipe off, but we ain't gonna, because I don't know how much fun that exhaust clamp is gonna be to get back on. And by looking at those threads on the other one, it looks like I did put anti-seize on, so we might be okay. We might be okay. I was kind of thinking, I think this the title for episode 15 is going to be my most expensive video yet. Actually, that's maybe wrong. 14 was probably my most expensive video. Frick, it's even still on there. Look at my fucking fingers are nice. Well. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a great sign. Right there. They say you got to take and find a positive in every outcome. That is it right there. And not to mention I get a whole new manifold. We are living right now. Beauty. Come on. Oh, just... There we go. Okay. Okay, that opens up a little more room. And hopefully you guys can see just what it is I'm doing. There's another one. Hell yeah. Boom, boom, da, na, 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 na. Ooh, there's another one. We're just gonna go ahead and loosen all these real quick. All right, I'm gonna end it here. Not end it, but we'll catch up with you in a minute. All right. Last one. She is ready to fall out of there. Twist it by hand. Nope. Oh. That's heavy. That's heavy on my hand. Oh. Come here. Ouch. Oh. Oh. It is out. Nice. All right. Oh, okay. So now these all come out. So here's your manifold gaskets. So now tomorrow, when the manifold gets here, we will start prepping, put the new one on. I think what we're gonna do is, because we've had so much action today, some very unexpected action, I think we're just gonna catch you on episode 16, my friends. I'm probably gonna go home and have, for surely, a beer, and yeah, question whether or not trucking is for me. Nah, I'm just kidding. I love it too much. Christ, we just bought another one, you know, so can't give up now. There's a plan, and I will see to the end of it. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed episode 15. It turned out to be one freaking hell of an episode. We'll check you in 16.
Well, everyone, that's the end of her for now. Another day, another dollar made, you know. If you guys could do me an absolute huge favor, I'd be more than appreciative and grateful for it. If you could give this page a follow, Driving with Oz, share, like, comment, subscribe. Oh man, that would be awesome. And until next time, keep that shiny side up, keep that greasy side down, and we'll check you on the flip-flop. Come on.